Good morning, everyone. It's Paula here. Today, I am here to talk about how to create a family vision. So, you will be seeing me looking at two different cameras because you are live on Facebook and you are live on YouTube. So, I am creating both and here today. And the reason why I want to talk about a family vision is because it's so important to have something that guides you in your life, something that grounds you in your ways of being and certain principles that are unshakable. Because when we ground ourselves into principles rather than our life circumstances or what's going on around us or what other people think or what the kids are doing or not doing, we are in a very shaky ground, and it is so frustrating to operate from that sort of perspective. So family vision is something that can give you guidance. It is your North Star that you can look up to, up in the sky when it's dark and desperate and hopeless after a power struggle. You can see the North Star and know where you are going from. So it gives you the map from which to operate from and your guiding principles and something that really grounds you in a sort of in the long-term solutions, long-term effective choices that really will benefit you as a family and will benefit your child's development as well, versus being reactive, being triggered, engaging in power struggles, putting your kid in timeout. All that is really all about just dealing with the immediate situation. And yeah, your child might, stop the behavior. Your child might comply. Your child might feel or seemingly be calm after a timeout. However, all those big feelings were stuffed in, and the nervous system is still like ramped up. When, for example, we put kids in timeout, it's kind of like um, having your car on a hand, having the handbrake on and pressing the gas. Lots of energy is happening inside, but it's not going anywhere. So we don't want to create those situations for our children. That's why we operate from this long-term vision. And if you think about it, nothing in this world would exist unless we had that idea first, unless we had some kind of idea of creating something. For example, this simple pen. Somebody had to thought about it. Somebody had to think about creating a pen. Then they had to think about, like, how am I going to create it? Kind of like the design of the pen. Then they had to come up with the materials for the pen and come up with the plan. How, what materials are we going to use for the pen? And then they had to build it. So those 4 steps are really required to create the life that we want to live. So vision is about taking those steps. So vision is something bigger than you. Vision is something that is unprecedented. It's something that you have not even thought. It's something that doesn't exist yet. So when you're working on this family vision, I don't want you to operate from a place of scarcity and of thinking, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have this or that, because by doing that, you really limit yourself. So creating this family vision is completely mind-blowing, so that you can create a life that is worth living, unprecedented life as a parent that you want to be. And the parent that you want to be and the children you want to grow is completely up to you. It is you who created. You are not powerless in front of your children. I get it that it feels like that. I know it often feels so much that the kids are just running a show and controlling. But I want to show you a way today how you can sort of like enroll your entire family into this family vision so that everybody has a stake in it, so to speak. Everybody has agreed to it and everybody follows it, and it's posted somewhere on the wall where everybody can see it, and that's your guiding North Star for your entire family. So let me go over the steps. It would be helpful for you to have maybe some pen and paper ready so you can write all these things down. So the other things I want to say is that the family vision really helps you deal with the changes in life, because life has so many moving components. When we have something that we can ground ourselves on, it can bring a sense of security, a sense of direction, that no matter what is happening, especially nowadays with the worldwide pandemic, much of the world still shut down, we really need something that is constant, that is present, that is really there, and you feel it in your core, so that you don't have to feel lost in this world of ours that is changing so much. Um, so so that's one of the benefits of having a family vision, is giving you the security, even in uncertain times, to know what to do. It also gives you the wisdom to know what's the best, most effective, the decision that really benefits everybody in the family and benefits the long-term health and well-being of the family. So it gives you guidance, it gives you security, it gives you wisdom, and it gives you the power. Like I said, you don't have to feel and be powerless in front of your children and what's going on. But that sense of being self-aware and knowing what to do really gives you the power to take action instead of being reactive. So here are the steps how to create a family vision. There are 3 steps to this. So first of all, I recommend that you begin to talk to your family about this first. So begin to familiarize them about what is the vision, why it is important, and then you set up a family meeting. Everybody gets to attend this family meeting. The dogs, the cats, the kids, the husbands, the wives, grandma, grandpa, whoever lives in the family, because the family vision doesn't leave anybody behind. Everybody gets to participate and everybody gets to have a voice. So when you are creating the family vision, even your little 4-year-old has as much power as you. Everybody's votes counts, because creating a vision, it's about creating empowerment for the family. It's creating a win-win situations for everybody in the family. It's not just, I'm the parent, so you have to tell me, you have to do as I say. So everybody's voices counts in creating this family vision. And really, children need to feel. Again, it's all about whether the child feels loved. Do they feel heard? Do they feel listened to? So make sure and check with your kids that they understand, that they feel heard, and that they feel like their opinion matters, that it's just not like empty listening that doesn't lead anywhere. So setting up a time for the family meeting, make it fun. Play some games ahead of time, play with balloons, play with bubbles. Make sure you have lots and lots of good food available so that it's super informal and fun. Ask everybody ahead of time what would they like to eat, and then make it just like a super fun hangout time. And no electronics. Phones, TV, everything is turned off, except maybe you want to have some background music, but that's really it. But you are fully present. parents phones off, kids phones off, so that you can just focus on the family and the process that you are going. And then prepare a little bit by having like a big poster board. You can go to the arts and crafts store and have all kinds of like, different things that you can decorate the poster. You can have magazine clippings, because I recommend you do two things: that it's a written vision, that it could be in the middle of the board as print it out, stick it in the middle of the board, and then you decorate it around, so that you have both. You have the visual, especially for younger children who can't read yet. You have everything that the vision represents in visual form, and you also have it typed out. So make sure that you have markers and paints and glitter. Little girls like a lot of glitter, and make sure that everybody gets to participate in creating this beautiful family vision board. And knowing that this is a process, so it might take 2, 3, maybe even 4 family meetings to get this vision done. What is important is that you put thought into it, and that you come into an alignment about what is going to the vision. Now, alignment is different from agreement. Alignment is based on the principle of win-win. It's based on the principles of compromise and playing team. So even though I might not agree with something fully 100%, I can align myself with that, as long as everybody else in the family, might be wanting that thing. Maybe I'm the only one who's digging my heels that I don't want that. Then I get to compromise. I get to align myself with that, and I do it for the team. So that's really important, that everybody is in alignment, and even explaining that it's we don't have to agree 100%. We can let go of the need to be right, and we can just work on seeking alignment versus agreement, which is more like can become a power struggle sometimes if you're not flexible with that. I did it in the present tense, as if it is happening already, because that's how we manifest that. So you are writing it in the present tense as if it is already here. Because what you're going to do, let's say that your family vision includes something like our family is harmonious, there is peacefulness, calm, and collaboration happening in our family. So the way we bring that into being is by being peaceful. You can start right now today. If you want peace in your family, you begin by being peaceful. If you want calmness in your family, you begin by being calm. So that's what I mean, is that the vision is you're living it already as if it is happening. And slowly you're taking step by steps. And soon enough, there is no way when you follow this procedure, there is no way that your family vision would not manifest. Do you see that? It's so exciting. I do this myself in my personal life. So, and it's really miraculous to see how it works. So writing it in present tense as if it is already here. So not saying like we will or in the future, it's happening now. And writing it in we, that it is we, it's us as a family. Good. And again, like I said, once the family vision is complete, it is posted somewhere where everybody can see it. Because then what you're going to start doing is reinforcing that. It's reinforcing and strengthening that. So when your kiddos are, let's say they are acting out, so I don't recommend that parents would ever be the police or lecture or anything like that. Oftentimes parents do kind of, it's like the default, to try to break up fights and police and tell kids what the rules are. But when you are seeing, let's say, the older brother takes a toy from the younger brother. And if cooperation and collaboration is on the family vision, so you can simply approach the child who took the toy and engage him in inquiry. You would go like this. You know, Billy, I saw you took your little brother's toy. You know, I get it. You really wanted it. And can you tell me, how does your little brother look like right now? What's his experience? So now you are engaging the inner faculties of the child to begin to process and think about what he did and what are the consequences. You don't have to tell the child, look what you did, you made your brother cry. He's upset. Help the child think for themselves. So you're building this intrinsic muscles of understanding and empathy and compassion. So you do that process, and then you have your family vision there. And, Billy, do you remember when we did our family vision? Do you remember all those things that you said? And then Billy maybe says, yes, and maybe he starts to recall that he had agreed to have a cooperative, collaborative family. And then you can ask Billy, I'm just wondering, what do you think? If what you did, was it in alignment with what we agreed on in the family vision? Then you wait for an answer. They may say no and get it. And then you ask, what would you like to do about it? There is never a need, and you should never force a child to apologize until they are ready. Apology, we want to teach children genuine, sincere, authentic apology. So making a child apologize when they are not ready is you asking them to lie, asking them to go against what they are feeling. And that's not good. We want to teach kids to be in alignment with however they are feeling internally. Sometimes the anger is in the way and they are not quite yet ready to apologize, but that's okay. Then you will revisit it later, and then you will revisit and revisit and revisit until perhaps, this is natural and normal for children to be loving, to be kind, to be empathetic and understanding. So in their natural calm state, they will come to that point on their own when they are ready to apologize. So that's the power of the vision, and having it on posted somewhere, and also inviting the children to tell you, like, whenever you feel that mommy or daddy are not following the vision, will you please tell us? Will you please let us know and remind us that we didn't follow our vision? So that gives the children the power as well. Excellent. So the step number one, so that's all the preparation. Step number one is to identify ways of being. So starting with being rather than doing. A lot of people go to the doing and the activity first. We want to have fun, we want to travel, we want to do all these things, but really the principle that we should operate our life on is be, do, have. I can be loving. Start with I am committed to being loving today. Then I'm going to align my actions, the doing part. I'm going to act and behave in loving ways. Then I will have love in my life, because whatever I give out comes back to me. So be, do, have. So we start with the ways of being. So brainstorming with your family, what are the ways of being that we want to have in that we want to create in our family? So some examples are being loving, being kind, being joyful, being generous, being empowering, and being connected. So just writing those down and brainstorming that piece, the ways of being. Then step number 2 is, the activities that you want to engage in as a family. So again, not limiting yourself here. It's unprecedented. So not allowing any limiting beliefs or scarcity of time or money, or we can't do this, not letting it come in the way. So vision is something that is complete. It hasn't been created yet. It is something that wouldn't be unless you came up with it. Just like John F. Kennedy said that, we're going to go to the moon. And whatever, I can't remember exactly 10 years later, the, we went to the moon. Like, what if he didn't say that? Would we have gone to the moon? So something that unprecedented. So not limiting yourself with the how, like you don't have to know the how. Just create it, just envision it first. And make it really vivid. So big part of creating this family vision is really creating this absolutely beautiful, vivid picture of the family life. So begin to talk about it and make sure somebody is writing this down and jotting these things down. That what are you going to be doing as a family? Going to the park and cooking and traveling. Even envision, like, how are we going to solve problems? What are we going to do as a family when we are mad at each other? How are we going to handle if somebody's feeling left out? And really visualizing that. Visualization uses the right side of the brain. So the process is both left-sided and right-sided. Left side of the brain is logical, where all the languages and planning, and it's rational. Right side of the brain is creative, and that's where our emotions and ability to visualize it. So we want to make sure that the both sides of the brain are integrated when you create this family vision. So use visualization. It's actually a very powerful technique that a lot of athletes use. So when for example, a downhill skier is practicing the turns, they have the course memorized, and before they actually physically do the activity, they've already run it through many, many, many times. And we know from neuroscience that the body doesn't really know the difference, whether you're thinking about something, whether you think about doing something or you're doing it. So same areas of the brain light up. So you're already creating that. And this is where your freedom lies, even when the circumstances seem very limited. So visualizing it. And then a really great question to ask at this point, especially this is great for younger children, is the magic question. If you had a magic wand and you could create anything, and you wake up in the morning and you wake up in your bed, you get out of your room, and you had this magic had happened overnight because you have that magic wand, what would have changed in our family? And have them go through the process, like what's different when they wake up, when there's breakfast time. If they get silly, like, oh, we would have unicorns in the house or something like that, just go with it, make it playful. So ask the magic question and make sure that everybody's opinion is heard. And the last step, so we've done the ways of being, we've done the doing, the action. And then the last step is the principles. So identifying family values and principles upon which the being and the doing is based on. So that whenever you're making decisions, whenever you are like trying to figure out as a parent, how am I going to respond to this situation? That you respond to it not from being triggered, not from feeling state, not from being tired or hungry or anything like that, being frustrated, being angry. you respond to the situation from these principles upon which all the actions, all the doing is based on. So it's grounding yourself in these principles that are unshakable, that don't change over time. The weather changes, but the climate typically stays pretty much the same. So the principles are more like the climate. What's happening in life is like the weather, the storms that come and go. So every decision is made through the lens of principles. And when you do that, you feel like your heart is light and you are aligned with your core being, with your core self. So they give you guidance and security. So some examples of principles that you could have in your family is understanding, forgiveness, helpfulness, fairness, collaboration, teamwork, honesty, integrity, which means that when you say something, when you promise something and you give your word, that you keep your word. And being objective, playing team. So that's the process of how to create your family vision. Again, this is just a framework for it. Then you can personalize it and make it your own, based on what I just shared today. So starting with the ways of being, identify those which are really like, what is my character? Identify the doing, the activities, actions you take as a family, creating a very vivid vision, and visualizing that. And lastly, identifying those principles that are, really ground you to your vision, brings you security, brings you wisdom, how to operate in a life that is complex, how to decide in a situation where you are being pulled in so many different directions, and it gives you guidance. So that's all I have for today. I truly, truly hope that this serves you well. Please write comments, questions, anything like that. I'll be popping in here for the next couple of days to see what kind of questions you might have about how to create your family vision. I'd love to see also pictures once you have your boards done. I would love to see pictures of your family visions and just kind of share about the experience with everybody. One final thing I want to say, that then the family vision is also something that you revisit. So it's not necessarily static, but it's something that you revisit after some time, especially when kids grow up. So developmentally, the vision might change a bit. So make sure that you revisit it once in a while to make sure that it is really fresh and current. Thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to hear from you and find out what kind of family visions you have. I'm super passionate about this work, and I believe that having this family vision is truly, truly something that can make a major impact and major shift in your parenting and in your family, and actually in your relationships in general. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye now.